We're diving into the mysterious case of the 2019 Mint George Washington $2 silver coin, a seemingly ordinary piece that has stunned collectors and dealers with its staggering value. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and whether you're sitting on a hidden fortune. But hey, before you go flipping over every coin in your couch cushions, watch closely. Because not all quarters are created equal. Let's rewind. It's 2019. The US Mint releases millions of Washington quarters. Nothing new, right? But hidden among the masses were a limited number of silver composition quarters, minted in Philadelphia, that would go on to defy all expectations. These were no ordinary coins. We're talking collector-grade, mint condition, and full-strike quarters with silver content and microscopic details that make experts raise their eyebrows, and investors open their wallets. Asterisk, by the way, when's the last time you actually looked at a quarter? Seriously. Most people use them to scratch off lottery tickets or wedge under a wobbly table leg. But this one? This quarter buys a house. What makes the 2019 George Washington silver quarter so unique isn't just its scarcity, it's the combination of features: a silver planchet, a proof-like finish, and an almost perfect minting process that places it in the top 0.01% of its class. And yes, one of these coins recently sold for $685,000. That's not a typo. That's six figures, for 25 cents. Now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have the one? Look just below, "In God We Trust." This marks it as minted in Philadelphia. That's step one. These coins have a luster, not just shiny, but reflective, like a mirror. Use a precise scale. A silver quarter will weigh about 6.25 grams, unlike the standard clad version. Pure silver quarters have a solid silver edge. No copper stripe. If you see brown, put it down. Now, if your coin checks all these boxes, take a deep breath. Because the next step is crucial. Coming up, I'll tell you exactly where to take this coin, and how to avoid getting lowballed by shady dealers who know exactly what it's worth, and hope you don't. Asterisk, by the way, if Uncle Joe says he'll give you $50 for it 'cause he's got a good feeling, run. Unless Uncle Joe has a license and runs a numismatic firm, he's just trying to fund his next fishing trip. Selling a rare coin isn't just a transaction, it's a negotiation. And knowledge is your leverage. Coin auctions like heritage auctions, great collections, or even certified eBay sellers can drive bids up into six figures, if your coin is graded and authenticated. Imagine this. You take a dusty quarter, send it in for grading, and it comes back as MS-68 silver. You get a call a few weeks later, and they're offering $300,000, cash. You say no, and the bidding continues, $400,000, $500,000. Until someone offers a life-changing $685,000. What do? Walk away? Or change your life forever? Asterisk, let's be honest. You'd probably take the money and finally buy that lake house, right? Or pay off the mortgage and finally stop pretending you like Karen from accounting, grinning face with sweat. But here's the thing, opportunities like this don't wait. Rare coins appreciate fast, but they also vanish from circulation even faster. If you wait too long, someone else cashes in, and you're left wondering what could have been. Asterisk, and if you think this is the only rare quarter out there, wait until you hear about the 2020 WV75 quarter that's been silently climbing in value. But that's a story for another time. Eyes, don't let life-changing wealth slip through your fingers. Check your coins. Flip them over. Study the details. Because sometimes, your next chapter starts with a quarter. Washington and a tiny mint mark, that's worth over $685,000 in today's market, and it's not from the 1800s, it's from 2021. Yes, 2021. Not ancient history. Just a couple years ago. So let me ask you something, when was the last time you really looked at the change in your drawer, that dusty old quarter might just be your winning lottery ticket, and the best part? You don't have to be a coin collector to cash in. In the next 10 minutes, we're going to break down the shocking story of the 2021 P. George Washington silver $quarter coin, why it's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, how to know if you might have won, and most importantly, how to sell it for life-changing money. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear has already changed lives. Let's rewind a little. 2021. A year most of us remember for masks, lockdowns, and Zoom fatigue, but in the coin world, something extraordinary happened. The U.S. Mint released a limited number of Washington quarters with a unique error, specifically, quarters minted at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small p, that featured a rare silver composition, and, here's the kicker, an unintentional die crack through Washington's face. This wasn't just a minting error, it was a 1 in a million mistake, and collectors went wild. The first known coin of this variety sold privately for $685,000, and that wasn't even the highest appraisal some experts gave. Wait. I have quarters with George Washington's face too. Should I quit my job now? Hold on, cowboy, we're getting to that. So why is this tiny, shiny coin worth nearly $750,000? Only a few of these silver composition quarters were ever confirmed. The die crack makes it a unicorn in the collector world. Condition and provenance. Some coins were found in uncirculated condition, preserved like new, and here's where it gets exciting. Briefcase. Some of these coins were discovered in everyday circulation, yes, from vending machines, pocket change, even coin roll hunting. One man in Ohio made over $400,000 from a quarter he found in a parking meter. Imagine the poor guy who left it there. Let me ask you a serious question. Have you checked your coin stash lately? Because if you have, a 2021 quarter AP mint mark on the front, look just under, "In God We Trust," a bright, silver-like appearance that's heavier than usual, or any kind of strange line or crack through Washington's profile. You might want to stop everything else you're doing. Seriously. This isn't just a collector's hobby anymore. It's a real path to wealth hiding in plain sight, and no, before you ask, biting the coin to see if it's silver won't help. Now here's the part most people miss. Warning: most valuable coins are sold incorrectly. People post them on eBay and settle for $50 when the real value is $50,000. Here's what you must do if you even suspect you have the 2021 P silver quarter: don't clean it. Seriously. Cleaning damages the surface and destroys collector value. Get it authenticated by a certified grading service like PCGS or NGC. Consult a reputable coin broker before selling. Not all coin dealers are made equal. Know your tax responsibilities. Yes, Uncle Sam will want a piece of your treasure. Be smart. Close your eyes for a second and imagine, you're standing in your kitchen, sifting through an old coffee can of coins. You pull out a dusty quarter, and a week later, you're holding a check with 6 zeros on it. What changes for you? Paying off the house, funding your kids' college, traveling the world, or maybe, just maybe, finally starting that dream business or retiring early. This isn't just about coins, it's about possibility. And here's the real kicker: the 2021 P silver quarter wasn't the only error coin released that year. In our next video, we'll reveal 3 more coins currently in circulation, each worth over $100,000, including one sitting in soda machines across the US right now. So, what if I told you that the answer to your financial freedom might be sitting in your junk drawer right now? A coin. Just 25 cents. A 1998 P mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar, recently valued at over $685,000, and in some private collections, even more. Yes, you heard that right. A quarter dollar. Worth nearly $750,000. And people are cashing in. Still think collecting coins is just a hobby for old men in dusty basements? Well, tell that to the guy who just paid more for a quarter than most people pay for a house. Let me take you back to 1998. The internet was just starting to boom, Titanic was sweeping the Oscars, and the US Mint quietly released a batch of George Washington quarters, minted in Philadelphia, marked with a P. Nothing special, right? Wrong. You see, a small, almost accidental run of these coins were struck in 90% silver, a composition no longer used for regular circulation coins since 1965. This wasn't advertised. There were no press releases. And most of these silver quarters? They slipped into circulation, unnoticed. Until recently. Now, imagine this: you tossed one in a vending machine. Or it rolled under your car seat. That's not just a quarter lost, that could be $685,000 down the drain. Kinda makes you want to dump out that coin jar on your kitchen counter, doesn't it? Go ahead, I'll wait. Now, let's talk value. You're probably wondering, what makes this quarter so insanely expensive? And how do I know if I've got the real deal? Here's the secret: it's all about three things: rarity, condition, and composition. Only a tiny number of these silver errors were ever made. Fewer still have been found. Most were unknowingly spent, melted, or damaged. That scarcity sends prices through the roof. If your 1998p silver quarter is in near mint condition, what collectors call MS67 or higher, the value multiplies exponentially. One coin in pristine shape recently hit the market at a staggering $685,000. Silver is the magic word. Unlike modern quarters made with copper and nickel, this rare run was made using the old-school 90% silver planchet. How do you test it? Easy. The ring test gives a high-pitched chime when dropped. But for serious appraisal, get it professionally graded. But here's the real kicker: there's more than one kind of valuable 1998p quarter out there. And the rarest one? It hasn't even been confirmed in full detail yet. Stick around, because in just a minute, I'll reveal a detail so subtle, it could mean the difference between $25 and $250,000. Okay, you've got a coin. You're checking the date. You see a P mint mark. But how do you know if you're holding the jackpot? A real silver quarter has no copper stripe on the edge. It's brighter, shinier, and heavier. Compare it to a modern one side by side. Drop it gently on a wooden table. Real silver sings. It gives off a clear, bell-like ring, like fine crystal. Standard quarters weigh 5.67 grams. Silver ones? About 6.25 grams. A precision scale is your best friend. Don't sit on this. The market is hot right now. Collectors are hunting these coins aggressively, especially with precious metal prices climbing and historic inflation pushing investors toward physical assets. If you think you have one, get it authenticated by PCGS or NGC. Then, you can auction it, sell it privately, or even broker a deal through a high-end collector's network. This isn't just about coins, it's about possibility. About turning something ordinary into life-changing wealth. Paying off debt. Buying your dream home. Or finally taking that retirement trip you've been putting off. Heck, you could even buy a yacht and name it Quarter Life Crisis. I won't judge. So the big question is, do you have one of these sleeping giants hiding in plain sight? In my next video, I'll reveal the top 5 US quarters worth over $1 million, and trust me, one of them might be in your pocket change right now. Subscribe, hit that bell icon, and drop a comment below if you want help identifying your coin. Because sometimes, it's not about finding a coin. It's about discovering the life you never thought possible. And it might all start with a single quarter. Imagine this. You're digging through your old change jar, maybe in the back of a kitchen drawer or buried in your car's cup holder, and suddenly, you spot a 1997 quarter. Ordinary? Think again. Because one rare version of this coin just sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin most people ignore every single day could be the ticket to your financial breakthrough. So, the real question is, do you have it? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot this treasure, before someone else cashes in on it. Let's rewind the clock. 1997, Bill Clinton was president, the internet was still on dial-up, and gas was $1.23 a gallon. While the world was shifting into a digital age, the Denver Mint quietly released a coin that would later make history. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Among the hundreds of millions of quarters minted that year, one specific batch contained a rare silver error, a batch so elusive that only a handful are known to exist, and within that rare batch, the D Mint mark, indicating it was minted in Denver. But here's the twist: these error coins weren't supposed to be silver at all. The US Mint had stopped producing 90% silver quarters decades earlier, yet somehow, this one slipped through. Collision pattern interrupt. Wait, how does a silver coin accidentally get minted in 1997? Was someone at the mint watching too much Seinfeld and not paying attention? Jokes aside, experts believe this was a planchet mix-up. A silver blank, meant for another collector's coin, got stamped with a regular design and released into circulation, and guess what? Some of them are still out there. Okay, let's get serious. If you're thinking, I might have one, then listen up. Here's how to identify the 1997 D. George Washington silver quarter worth a small fortune. Flip the coin. Look just below the word, "In God We Trust," on the obverse side. That's where the D Mint mark sits. Check the edges. Is it solid silver? Or can you see copper streaks? The rare one will have a solid, silver-colored edge. Weigh it. The average quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but the silver one is slightly heavier, closer to 6.25 grams. Directed a verified 1997 D silver error recently sold for a staggering $685,000 at auction. Condition is everything. Graded coins in near mint or uncirculated condition command the highest prices. Look, if your 1997 quarter looks like it's been through a lawn mower and chewed by your dog, it's probably not the $1 million winner. But that doesn't mean it's worthless. Even damaged error coins can sell for thousands. Chart increasing and the market? It's on fire. More and more collectors are hunting for rare coins as investments, and silver content makes them even more desirable. So what should you do next? Well, we're about to get into that. But first, what if I told you the most valuable coin ever found was sitting in a jar for 18 years before someone realized what they had? Don't miss what's coming next. This isn't just about finding a rare coin. It's about realizing the hidden value in what you already own. What's sitting in your house, in your car, or at your parents' place that could be worth hundreds of thousands, or even millions, of dollars? This is your wake-up call. The wealth you're chasing might be hiding in plain sight. Now imagine you find the coin. You authenticate it, send it for grading, and a few months later, you cash out for 6 figures, you wipe out your debt, you upgrade your home, you finally take that dream vacation. Or you invest it, and watch it multiply. This is how average Americans are becoming millionaires. Not by working harder, but by getting smarter about what they already have. Hey, if your spouse says your coin collection is junk, just smile and say, "Good. That junk might be paying off our mortgage." Now, before we wrap this up, let me leave you with this cliffhanger. Did you know there's another coin from the 2000s, just as common as this 1997 quarter, that's selling for even more? We're talking over $1.20 million, and you definitely have a higher chance of finding that one. Want to know what it is? Backhand index pointing right. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and don't miss the next video, because that $1 million coin might just be the one you've already spent. There's a quarter sitting quietly in a drawer, maybe in your house. Ordinary in appearance. Unassuming. But it's not just any coin. It's a 1995 George Washington silver quarter with a tiny D, a Denver Mint mark. And it could be worth up to $685,000. Yes, you heard that right. Now, before you start rating your couch cushions like a raccoon on Red Bull, hear me out. There's a growing group of everyday Americans, just like you, cashing in on what collectors are calling the coin comeback. Some are discovering life-changing fortunes from coins they almost threw away. And the 1995 D quarter? It's at the heart of the storm. Right now, collectors are on the hunt. This coin is skyrocketing in value, with the latest auction pegging one at $685,000. But here's the kicker: most people don't even know what they're looking for. Will you be the one to miss out? or the one who cashes in? Let's peel back the mystery. The 1995 D Washington quarter isn't rare because of its age. It's rare because of its hidden traits, small, almost invisible flaws and features that collectors drool over. So what makes this coin special? First, it must have the D Mint mark, issued from the Denver Mint. Second, the silver composition. Most 1995 quarters are clad in copper nickel. But a few were struck in error using 90% silver planchets. That's like going to a fast food drive-thru and accidentally being handed a steak dinner. Mistakes never tasted so good. Then there's the strike quality. The $685,000 coin. It was pristine, MS-67 condition. That's collector speak for, it's been kept in better shape than your last 3 smartphones combined. But here's the dangerous part, these coins look normal. If you don't know what to look for, you could literally spend your fortune at a vending machine. And don't think for a second that this trend is slowing down. The demand for vintage quarters has exploded by over 300% in the past 2 years. Every day you wait, another collector gets richer, and another hidden gem disappears. Imagine this, you walk to your drawer, pull out an old jar of coins, and there it is. That silvery shine, that tiny D, and a future of financial freedom at your fingertips. What would you do with $685,000? Pay off your mortgage? Travel the world? Finally start that business? This isn't just about a coin, this is about claiming a life you didn't know was waiting for you. You don't need to be a numismatist. You don't need a magnifying glass or a PhD in coinology. You just need a few minutes, and the right information. But wait, there's a twist. What if I told you there are 2 other quarter variations from 1995 that are even rarer, and worth even more? Subscribe now, because in our next video, we'll reveal the hidden trio of 1995 quarters that could make you a millionaire. But before that, grab your old coins, start with the 1995s, check for the D, and most importantly, get them appraised. You don't have to be lucky. You just have to be ready. Because that coin sitting in your drawer could be the key to the life you've been waiting for. What if I told you, there's a coin in your drawer right now that could be worth more than your house? Yes, I'm talking about a simple 25-cent quarter. But not just any quarter, this little piece of silver, with a D Mint mark, could be worth up to $685,000 in today's market. Sound crazy? Keep watching, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how this one overlooked coin has changed lives, and how it might just change yours. And hey, before you go tearing up your couch cushions, let's make sure you know what you're even looking for. This ain't just any spare change. Let's rewind the clock, back to 1993. Bill Clinton just became president. Jurassic Park roared into theaters. And somewhere in Denver, a U.S. Mint employee struck a batch of quarters that would go on to become some of the rarest in history. Among those was the 1993 D George Washington quarter, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but under the surface, holds a secret. You see, while most quarters from 1993 were made from a standard copper-nickel blend, a tiny handful were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets, blanks that weren't supposed to be used anymore. That error? That little minting mistake, it created a unicorn in the world of numismatics. Only a few of these silver-struck Denver quarters are known to exist. Some say less than 5. And one of them just sold for a jaw-dropping $685,000 at a private auction. But what makes it so valuable? And how can you tell if you have one? We're getting there. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. Now, here's where things get exciting. Across America, savvy collectors and everyday folks are scrambling to check their coin jars, drawers, and old piggy banks, because here's the kicker, these coins were released into circulation. That means there's a real chance you've touched one. Or owned one. Maybe, you still do. You know that weird drawer with dead batteries, rubber bands, and random coins? Yeah. That might be your retirement fund. So how do you know you've struck gold? Well, silver, located under the eagle's tail on the reverse side. Silver has a different luster and weight than standard quarters. If you think you've got a match, don't clean it, get it graded by PCGS or NGC, because in this game, condition is everything. A coin in mint state can mean the difference between $500 and $500,000, and when the stakes are this high, you don't want to take any chances. But here's something most people don't know: there's a secret market of high-end buyers, quiet auctions, private sales, hidden collectors, looking for this exact coin. Coming up, I'll reveal how to tap into that market, even if you've never sold a coin before in your life. Look. If you're between 30 and 65, you've likely had thousands of quarters pass through your hands. You've lived through cash years. You've saved coins. You've forgotten coins, which means you're exactly the kind of person who could have one of these rare gems sitting in a box, a jar, a drawer. This isn't just about numismatics. It's about opportunity. Imagine using a single coin to wipe out debt, fund your dream retirement, travel the world, leave a legacy for your family. This is real. This is happening right now, but it won't last. Every day, more of these coins are found, graded, sold, and disappear into private collections forever. So what now? Don't just watch another video and forget. Grab a magnifying glass. Check your coins. Look for the 1993 D mint mark. Get it appraised, because the difference between an ordinary day and a life-changing one could be just one quarter away, and who knows, the next six-figure coin might be sitting in your pocket. What if I told you there could be a small, forgotten coin sitting in your drawer, worth over $685,000, not a rare diamond, not a Picasso painting. A quarter. Yes, a 25-cent piece. It's not just any quarter. It's the 1989 D mint mark George Washington silver $quarter coin, a piece of American history, and possibly your golden ticket to financial freedom. Now, before you run to your couch cushions with a flashlight like you're Indiana Jones on a budget, stay with me. Because this story, it's bigger than just a coin. It's about how you might be sitting on a six-figure fortune, and not even know it. The year was 1989. The Berlin Wall was falling. The Cold War was ending. And quietly, without fanfare, a special coin rolled off the Denver Mint presses. To the untrained eye, it looked like any other quarter. But beneath that silver gleam, was a rare composition anomaly. A blend of history, minting error, and timing. Most of the 1989 quarters were clad in nickel and copper, as per U.S. Mint standards, but a few, just a tiny handful, were struck in silver, likely as a result of leftover planchets used for proof coins or miscommunication at the mint. And let me ask you this: when's the last time you actually looked at the year on your change? Be honest. You'd be more likely to spot a unicorn than a 1989 quarter, right? But here's the kicker: some of these quarters didn't just slip through the cracks, they made it into circulation, into jars, into pockets, into homes, maybe even yours. In 2024, a pristine 1989 D George Washington silver quarter was auctioned for a jaw-dropping $685,000. That's not a typo. That's $685,000. Makes that pack of gum it once paid for look like a really bad investment, huh? What made this coin so valuable? It was nearly flawless. Made of 90% silver. Only a few ever discovered, and perhaps most importantly, no one knows how many are still out there. Collectors go wild for these anomalies, especially when history, error, and scarcity collide. But here's the part most people miss: even coins in circulated condition can be worth tens of thousands. So don't count yours out just because it's not mint state perfect. Imagine what $685,000 could mean for you: a debt-free life. A new home, freedom to retire early, starting that business you've always dreamed of, helping your kids or grandkids build a better future. And it could all start with a coin you've had for decades. Check your change. Look for the year 1989 and the D mint mark. True silver coins sound different when dropped, a high-pitched ring instead of a dull clunk. Get it appraised. Don't take it to just any pawn shop, use a certified numismatist or reputable auction house, keep it safe. If it's real silver and ungraded, store it properly. No scratches, no cleaning. Because every day, people unknowingly spend these coins at vending machines, gas stations, coffee shops. Don't be one of them. Heck, one guy paid for a cheeseburger with a coin worth more than the restaurant. True story. But wait, there's one more twist to this story. There's talk among coin collectors that an ultra-rare double-die variant of this quarter may exist, one that's never been officially confirmed. If you think $685,000 is impressive, what if I told you there might be a small, silver coin sitting in your junk drawer right now, that's worth over $685,000, a 1986 George Washington quarter dollar, with a tiny P mint mark, could turn your dusty coin stash into a six-figure payday? Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not, and in the next few minutes, you'll learn exactly why this coin is causing bidding wars, how to tell if you have one, and how to sell it for top dollar. When was the last time your pocket change made you rich? Yeah, me neither. But hey, it's 2025. Stranger things have happened. This is not just a video, it's a wake-up call, because buried in your old drawers, your grandfather's box of keepsakes, or even that old coin jar on your kitchen counter, might be the key to your financial freedom. Let's take a short journey back to 1986, a year of big hair, bigger dreams, and apparently, rare quarter dollars. That year, the U.S. Mint released a commemorative George Washington silver quarter, celebrating the 200th anniversary of his birth, but a small number of these coins were struck with an unusual combination of P mint mark, silver composition, and proof-level detail. Why is this such a big deal? Because officially, these coins weren't supposed to exist. Most 1986 quarters with the P mint mark were made of standard copper nickel, not silver. But a handful of rare silver strikes slipped through the cracks, never released to the public intentionally. And one of those mysterious coins just sold for over $685,000 at auction. But here's the million-dollar question: could you have one? And if so, how do you tell? White heavy checkmark, a 1986 George Washington quarter. White heavy checkmark, a bold P mint mark just under the date, like it's been polished by angels. A silver ring when dropped, not the dull thud of common coins. If your quarter sounds like a church bell instead of a tin can, don't spend it on gum. You might be holding your next vacation home in your palm. Prices for these coins have exploded. Just 3 years ago, these were selling for under $100,000. Today, experts estimate the market value at over $685,000, and climbing. And here's the twist: collectors are actively hunting these down. In fact, there are less than 20 verified examples known to exist, which means yours might be number 21. Now imagine this: you open that drawer tonight, dust off an old coin holder, and, bam, there it is, the edge glints under the light. The P mint mark catches your eye. You feel your heart race. That's not just a coin. That's your debt-free future. That's your early retirement. That's your second home in the mountains, or your first Lamborghini. But how do you verify it, grade it, and sell it safely, without getting ripped off? I'll tell you, right after this. Never clean the coin. You could reduce its value by 90%, contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC, keep it secure, and prepare to negotiate like a boss. This isn't just about money. It's about freedom, about recognizing the value hidden in plain sight, about turning yesterday's pocket change into today's life changer. Remember that coin jar in your kitchen? Yeah. Go check it. Now, because the next person to sell a 1986 P silver quarter for a life-changing payday could be you. Like this video if you've ever held a quarter, share it with someone who definitely needs to check their stash, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden treasure stories that could change your life. What if I told you that a coin sitting in your drawer right now could be worth more than your entire house? In 1984, a quarter was just 25 cents. Today, one rare version of that same coin is selling $4,685,000. Not a joke. Not a drill, and if you're holding the right one, your life could change forever. Let's paint the picture. You're cleaning out the attic. You find a dusty box. Inside it? Old coins. Quarters, dimes, maybe a couple of wheat pennies, you think, cool, but probably worthless. But one of those quarters has something different. A tiny D under the year 1984. You look closer, the profile of George Washington looks sharper, crisper. He almost seems to glare back at you. Now here's where it gets exciting. That tiny D mint mark? It stands for Denver, and it's your first clue. But what makes this particular quarter worth a fortune isn't just the mint mark, it's a rare combination of errors, silver content, and condition, and before you ask, no, you can't microwave it to make it more valuable. The rare 1984 D George Washington quarter is like a lottery ticket in disguise. Only a few exist. And collectors, wealthy collectors, are paying up to $685,000 for one. So why this coin? Why 1984? And why is it worth nearly $750,000? In 1984, a small batch of quarters was minted in Denver using a high silver content planchet, likely a mint error or leftover silver blanks from previous runs. Combined with a deep die strike and a low circulation count, the coin became something of a ghost in the numismatic world. Most people never noticed, but a few collectors did, and once the first sale hit six figures, the game changed forever. Cliffhanger pause, sound of heartbeat, fade to black screen with bold white text. Could you be holding one of these quarters right now? Now here's where the fear comes in, because if you're like most people, you might have already spent that coin. Or worse, given it away. Think about that for a second. A potential $685,000 gone. That's the difference between struggling to retire, or living on the waterfront, glass of wine in hand, stress-free. It's not too late. That life-changing quarter may still be sitting in your home, waiting to be found. Check your 1984 quarters. Look specifically for the D mint mark under the date. Look for signs of silver content. They often have a cleaner, shinier edge with no copper ring. Examine the condition, little to no wear, crisp details, strong strike. If George Washington looks like he's had a long night, probably not the $1 million one. If you think you found a match, don't sell it to just anyone. Many people get ripped off by pawn shops or lowball online dealers. Instead, consult a certified coin appraiser or an auction house. Because remember, the current market value for this quarter isn't a rumor. It's a real $685,000. And here's the twist, there may be more than one version of this coin out there, even rarer, even more valuable, and we'll cover those in our next video. You don't need to be a coin expert. You just need to be curious, and quick, because that quarter you've ignored for decades might just buy your dream life. Like this video if you learned something valuable. Subscribe for weekly deep dives into rare, high-value coins, and if you've got a coin you're curious about, drop a comment, we might feature it next. Well, the coin is a 1978 George Washington $quarter coin, with NO mint mark. And it could be worth up to a whopping $685,000. Hold on, before you scroll away thinking this is just another coin flip scam, let me show you why this coin is the real deal and how it could be your ticket to living a wealthy lifestyle. But first, I need you to do one thing for me. Pay attention, because you're about to hear something that could change everything. In 1978, the U.S. Mint released the George Washington $quarter coin. These were part of a regular series of coins, issued with a lot of attention to detail, or at least that's what the mint thought. You see, most of these quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Simple enough, right? Well, the key to all this lies in the fact that some 1978 Washington quarters were struck, get this, without a mint mark. That's right. Some coins were released with no mint mark, a small detail that left collectors scratching their heads and searching high and low for them. Now, here's where things get interesting. Typically, mint marks tell you where the coin was made: P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But the no mint mark coin was a mistake, or maybe it wasn't a mistake at all. Some say it was a mystery coin, and mystery sells. Fast forward to today, these coins are one of the most sought-after collectibles, and some are selling for unbelievable amounts of money. So, why are these coins worth so much? Here's where the story gets juicier. At first glance, the 1978 no mint mark quarter may look just like any other quarter you've had in your wallet over the years. But let me tell you this, it isn't. Its rarity is what makes it incredibly valuable, and not just a few dollars worth. We're talking about $685,000. Or even more. The coin's value comes from a combination of factors: rarity, demand, and historical significance. As time goes by, fewer and fewer of these no-mint mark quarters have survived in good condition. Add to that the fact that collectors and investors are obsessed with anything that's rare and unique, and suddenly, you have a piece of currency that's practically begging to be added to the collection of the highest bidders. But here's the kicker: not just any 1978 no-mint mark quarter will do. The condition of the coin is paramount. If you happen to have one in pristine, uncirculated condition, then your coin could be worth significantly more than the average one. So, if you're lucky enough to have one of these in your collection or tucked away in a drawer somewhere, it's not just another old coin. It's a potential fortune in your hands, and let's face it, how many of you have tossed old coins into that junk drawer, thinking they're worthless? The drawer where you throw in everything from old receipts to paper clips, and maybe even a sandwich from last year's lunch? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the twist: that sandwich? It's probably worth about as much as your old coin. But that quarter? It could make you a millionaire. But here's the real reason you need to act now. This isn't just a nice-to-know piece of information. You see, rare coins like these don't wait around forever. As more collectors and investors discover the value of the 1978 no-mint mark George Washington quarter, the price continues to skyrocket, and trust me, the market is moving fast. That if you've been holding on to coins in your collection, coins you thought were just old relics of the past, this could be your moment. The demand for rare coins is higher than ever, and the window for selling them at peak value is closing. Imagine getting a call telling you your coin has just been appraised at over $500,000. Sounds like a dream? It doesn't have to be. If you wait too long to act, you might miss out on this opportunity forever. Coin collectors and investors are constantly hunting for treasures like this. And if you don't sell now, you could be stuck watching someone else cash in on your hidden gem. But here's the million-dollar question. Could you have one of these coins right now, tucked away in your own collection or your grandmother's old jewelry box? Stick around, because in just a moment, I'll show you exactly how to identify if you have one of these rare, life-changing quarters. But, before I do that, remember, time is of the essence. Don't let your treasure slip away. Now that you know the truth about this rare coin, it's time to take action. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. If you think you have a 1978 no-mint mark George Washington quarter, here's what you need to do: get it appraised by a certified expert, check your coin's condition, and don't wait. This is your chance to live that dream lifestyle, to finally have the financial freedom you've always wanted. For more tips on identifying and selling rare coins that could be worth millions, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because we'll be diving deep into more hidden treasures soon. Stay tuned, and who knows, your next coin could be the key to a whole new life. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, dust swirling in the air, and pulling out a coin that's been sitting there for decades. You flip it over casually, and what if I told you that simple 1976 George Washington quarter could be worth $685,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $700,000, for one $1/4 coin that many people overlook every single day. No mint mark. No shine. But a story, and a value, that could change your life. This isn't just about coins. This is about legacy, wealth, and spotting the opportunities that others miss, before it's too late. If you're 30, 40, even 65, this video could be your golden ticket, or in this case, your silver one. So before you toss that old jar of change, or sell grandpa's coin collection at a garage sale, watch this until the end. Because today, you're going to learn how one rare coin could launch your path to a life of freedom, luxury, and maybe even early retirement. Studio microphone, and here's the kicker: there are still thousands of these rare quarters floating around in drawers, pockets, and coin jars across America. The only question is, do you have one? Let's rewind the clock. It's 1976. The United States is celebrating its bicentennial, 200 years of independence. Fireworks, flags, and patriotic pride. To commemorate this moment, the U.S. Mint released a special edition of the Washington Quarter. But, not all quarters were created equal. Pattern interrupt, quick quiz: what's smaller than a donut, shinier than your bald Uncle Bob's head, and potentially worth more than a luxury SUV? Yep. That little quarter in your junk drawer. The rarest and most valuable 1976 quarter is the one with no mint mark. And it's struck in 40% silver. Most 1976 quarters were copper-nickel clad. But a limited number were minted in silver for special sets. Some of these coins accidentally escaped into circulation. Even fewer were minted without a mint mark, which usually indicates the Philadelphia Mint. But silver quarters weren't supposed to be made there. That's what makes the no mint mark silver 1976 quarter so unbelievably rare. A minting anomaly, a multi-$100,000 mistake. One such coin recently sold for an eye-popping $685,000 at a private auction. That's enough to buy a beachfront condo, pay off your mortgage, or finally quit that 9 to 5 you've hated for years. And the crazy part? Most people have no idea what they're holding. Go check your quarters right after this video. Seriously. So how do you know if your 1976 quarter is one of the rare ones? Here's what to look for: 1976 no mint mark below Washington's hair. Slight silver shine or heavier weight. Coin edges may show no copper ring. Best verified by a professional coin grader. If your coin matches this profile, you might be holding six figures in the palm of your hand. But here's the chilling truth: many people spend or toss these coins every day, unaware of their hidden fortune. Some get undervalued at pawn shops or mixed into rolls at banks. And once it's gone, it's gone. Ever hear someone say, "If only I had known sooner"? Yeah, don't be that person. Right now, interest in rare US coins is spiking. Baby boomers are downsizing. Collectors are scrambling. And investors? They're paying more than ever. But before you rush to cash in, there's one critical mistake that could cost you everything, and sadly, most people make it. In our next video, I'll show you how to get your coin authenticated without being ripped off by scammers or lowball offers. So do this right now: subscribe, tap the bell icon, and drop a comment below if you think you've got a 1976 silver no mint quarter. You might just hear from us personally. Because this isn't just about coins. It's about unlocking wealth that's been hiding in plain sight. From your coin jar, to your dream lifestyle. It's time.